for our very exciting 3FM Baby Fair. Now, one of our amazing partners that we love to do this with is the Pediatric Society of Ghana. And joining us from the Pediatric Society, we have Dr. Maame Araba Acquaah. And we're about to talk about parenting right here on the show as part of some of the amazing conversations that will be held on the ground. Hi, Doc. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine.
It's such a pleasure to finally meet you.
It's great having me this morning.
Wonderful. Now, we're talking about parenting styles, and I'll start with what really are there parenting styles that parents need to know?
Yes.
Okay.
Married types of parenting styles. And we just focus on 4 types this morning.
Okay.
So we have the authoritative parenting. We have the authoritarian parenting.
Okay.
We have the permissive and the neglective or the uninvolved type of parenting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, quite a number.
There are other types of parenting, but I think we will just focus on
Those are the ones that are more prevalent in Ghana. We can see.
Yeah, I think I'll just talk about the ones that are really prevalent here in Ghana.
Okay.
And for the authoritative type is the most preferred. So parenting style is actually a spectrum. So we have the demandingness and the responsiveness. So demandingness is what you are expecting the child to be. What's the moral grounding you're expecting the child to be modeled in. The responsiveness is how all these measures are expecting a good outcome. And also with the authoritative type, you have the high demandingness and then high responsiveness. So you have parents having they set ground rules, they are firm, but they blend strictness with flexibility. They have this open door policies where upon all the measures or the measures that they are putting in place for the children, they are expecting a very good outcome out of it. So they will be like, so example would be, you know what, bedtime is 7:30. 30 minutes before bedtime, make sure that you switch off the lights. They stick up to that routine, and the general outcome is that they are well managed.
Yes.
They are well. You could see that this is a child who has been brought up very, very well, and that is the most preferred type of parenting.
Okay. All right.
And then we have the authoritarian. So the authoritarian type is one that is 30% practice here in Ghana.
Okay.
So you have culture coming into play. So you have parents going like, I said this, and this is what you are going to do.
Yeah.
I said you are going to be a doctor, and that's what you are going to be. They don't really give that room for the child to express his or her concerns about certain things that are. And when they fail to do that, they really have this very harsh discipline measures that are being given onto them. The other permissive type of parenting, so for them, they have the low demandingness and then high responsiveness. So I call them the mama bear effect.
Okay.
So they'll be like, so you want to, for instance, they will set rules. The father will say 7:30 is bedtime, and the child will be like, no, I want to watch TV. My favorite show is upcoming. I want to watch TV, and the mother will be like, you know what? You can still watch it. Then the mother will, and that kind of parents is not really practicing in Ghana.
Right.
But I'm afraid of the generation that is upcoming because they are really copying
a lot of the things that happen in different jurisdictions. Yeah.
So we tend to have that permissive style of parenting here in Ghana, but it's just in some small percentage of people. And such children usually have very bad outcomes. They are usually impulsive. They don't really obey authority when they go to school. They really are insistent on certain things to be done in their own way because the parents haven't actually been a very good model with regards to
structures and
authority. And then we have the uninvolved and the neglective type of parenting, and that's really, really concerning. For the uninvolved parents, sometimes I think it's not really intentional, but intentional, because you have parents coming from a very difficult background. Let's say 2 doctors as being parents. You close at 7 p.m. I mean, you would you pay for the children's school fees, you make sure that basic things are being given to them, but ensuring or being present all the time, making sure you go to visiting their schools, having interactions with their teachers on how your children are really performing, going through their homeworks, looking at their struggles, also even being present to see how they even interact with their friends. Such things are really lacking in that part of parenting style, and often the outcome of that particular type of parenting is usually dire. It's not really good. Okay. So these are some of the 4 types of parenting that we have here.
I like that. Okay, now let's look at which one is the best, because there are different types, all of them coming out with different results, and I'm sure all contribute to a different part of or stimulate different parts of any child's growth. Now, which one, in your opinion, is which one is the most preferred usually, and which one should be the most preferred?
So I think the most preferred type of parenting should be the authoritative type. So you set the rules, you are firm with it, you make sure it's being adhered to, and then you also usher in a very good punitive measure, making it fair enough. So let's say a child is supposed to do the homework or the assignment after school, but maybe that day when the child came back from school, the child wasn't feeling well, or probably we are now in a cold season, the child is not feeling up to it. There's a reason. Sometimes give that room for the person to express, for the child to express the reason behind certain actions. Sometimes some parents really don't give that room. For authoritative type, they usually give that room to listen in. So they have that good, strong relationship with the children. They know that, maybe Jaden would have ordinarily done this, but maybe because of that, they are usually very considerate. And so authoritative type is that. But you know what? I think it depends on also the age ranges. So for children less than 6 years, they actually look at what you do.
Okay.
So for instance, you are telling them to go to bed at 7:30, whereas you are just on your bed around 10 p.m. watching your TV. You are not reading.
To think that's
They start taking cues from that. And children, that's the critical moment that children really take a lot of things from their parents. So model your kids the way you want to. You should also model the kid the way you want to be as well. And also for the authoritarian type, I think. After 6 years to their mid-teens, you can be that. So it's not one capital thing.
Okay.
Like when they are around certain age, you really have to be disciplined. You really have to enforce your rules and make sure that they adhere to. But the most preferred type is the authoritative type.
Now, how do you ensure yourself from not moving from, or because it feels like it's a thin line between authoritative and authoritarian parenting styles.
Yeah.
How do you ensure as a parent that you don't cross the boundaries?
Set your rules. Practice it. Practice practice what you preach. Yes. So, and then also let them know that, this is what I am doing, and this is the outcome of my efforts or of the things that I'm sticking to. And I think you can do it. Just let them open that room for them to know that if you do this is the outcome you're going to do. If you do that, this is the outcome. If you stay up till midnight, when you go to school, you definitely sleep and you won't come out with a very good marks. So when you tell them that, they really appreciate that.
Okay. In terms of punishment. In our local side, punishment ranges. I don't think that we tend to restrict how we want to punish or what we should do. But what is a good punishment and what's a bad punishment for parents that don't understand the difference?
Well, I think I'll go for the latter. So for the bad punishment would be one that would send the children down the grave and would cause the children to sort of go back to their shell. We are parents, so we need to help the children cope up to the society. We need to help the children cope up to certain things or to certain environment. So if you putting down some bad or punitive measures, make sure that you also know the outcome of it. For instance, for the authoritarian type of parent, if you don't do this, I'm going to give you 10 beatings. And you don't know, sometimes there are so many things that can come during that process. So, for instance, you come home from work, you are tired, you are a doctor, you've worked 12-hour shifts, you know that your children are supposed to do their homeworks, you come in and they are still up watching TV, you get angry, you take your belt, you just whoop their asses. Sorry to use that word, but but usually that's what you usually come. And then if you don't take care, because you are so frustrated, you are so tired,
you go overboard.
So I think that type of punitive measures are not well.
So always punish without anger.
Yes.
When you're level-headed.
Yes.
Okay. I
Let
like
them
that.
also know that this is what they've done.
And then this is why you're punishing them. So that it's not that anyone can just get up and punish, but because you do something, it's like a punishment and reward type of system.
Yes.
Okay. Now, building resilience in kids. I mean, for some people, they feel that parenting is a way to shelter the kids from all of life's ills. Now, is it advisable to approach it in such a way, or should you also be the point where kids will realize that life can sway in different ways and you're preparing them for the life they would live? How do you find the balance as a parent?
So I think building resilience in children, you should just let them know that it's good to make mistakes. We learn from mistakes. You build on one mistake to do for the next level, to do better on the next pedestal. Sometimes I also think that we can just let them know of our mistakes. So for instance, I have this thing in my house where my kids, the moment they welcome me from work, they'll be like, "Mommy, how was your day?" And I'll be like, "Oh, my day was good. Today, you know what? Today there was this 5-year-old child that came in looking so sick, and I almost cried, but I wanted to really, really help them." I just communicate to them my mistakes and then tell them that, you know what, today when I go to work, I will make sure that this child is not in pain. I will make sure that this child goes back home with smiles and all that. So you telling them about your mistakes and how you navigated through them also helps them know how to, also helps them build a very good resilience system.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Now, when it comes down to the role of parenting in child development, yes, it's necessary, it's needed. We require that. But what is some of the tips, or what are some of the tips that our parents can keep when it comes down to ensuring better child development in their children?
So I think we can build strong relationships with our children. It would amaze you to know that children really learn a lot from how you interact with them, how your thinking process would actually, you'll be marveled when they tell you certain things. And so building that very strong relationship. So I have this, so I'm just giving you my personal thing. So they usually go to bed around 7:30. By 7 o'clock, I'm in the house. By like 15 minutes before bedtime, I spend that with them. And I just want to ask them, especially the girl, she's really a talker. So I'll go like, "Chloe, so how was school?" And she'll be like, "Baby, yeah, did this. Baby, yeah, that." So I'll be like, really? Really? So next time, what would you do? And maybe when she says what's her next actions will be, and I'll be like, "No, I don't think this is a very good thing to do. Maybe you can do this way." And having that strong relationship with them would also help you build them like very, very good
child development skills. Yeah.
And then also making sure that you are always emotionally available to them. So they don't tell you their problems, and you know what, you deserve it. You deserve it. You always be emotionally available to them. You get it? It helps them build up a very good, resilient system, especially with their emotions. So helping them also build a very good emotional literacy. Okay? It's good to be sad because you didn't get an award. It's good, maybe your friends told you to, maybe it's good to your teacher told you to go to the naughty corner. Maybe next time you shouldn't say this again. So it helps them know what to do at every point in time. And then also it helps them know how to solve problems easily in life. So you don't have a kid coming home with the lace out, the shoelace out. You tell them, do you think walking with your lace out is good for you? Don't you think you tumble over when you have your lace out? Tell them to lace it. Anytime you come in, anytime you visit the washroom, make sure you close your flap. Sometimes I pick my kids up from school and I see the preschoolers or the those in the lower primary having their flaps open, their shirts are out and all that. Then I'll call them, you know what, tuck in, button up your dress. Do this. When you do this, you really look good when you do that. It really helps them build a very, very good good
child development.
When you do that.
Okay. Now, what are some of the errors that parents do? Because I'm sure quite a number of times parents unknowingly do certain things that maybe will prevent or not help their child development in some way, shape, or form. In your view, what are some of the quickest or easiest errors that parents not really knowing
AJ, do you remember Captain Planet?
Yes.
Captain Planet.
He's the hero.
Don't be the hero every time. Don't always come to the rescue of the children all the time. They, like I mentioned, Mama Bear effect. They are always, their children are having issues with their friends, they'll go to the school. They are having issues with their siblings. Mama Bear is there. That kind of thing. Let's try and avoid that. Okay. Give them that platform to unearth their prowess. Okay. Give them that platform to be able to, show their emotions. If they are going overboard, you tell them, no, this is not how to go about it. Okay. And also try as much as possible to, like I mentioned, be a good model to them.
Okay. Very exciting conversation we're having. If you have any questions for Doc, please send it in 0532 300 927. That's 0532 300 927. And I'll be more than happy to read it out right here on the show. I'm gonna get into a bit more questions right about now. Now, boundary setting. How can parents set boundaries without either being too soft or too lenient or too strict?
Okay, so I think you should set boundaries right from the scratch. So you wouldn't wait when they are in their mid-teens or around 10-ish. That's when you are setting boundaries. So, like, I'm just going to give you an example. When you are communicating or having a conversation with your husband, and the children will come in, and then they are coming in with their whole tantrums and all that. Sometimes they need to know that, I'm talking to, when mommy and daddy are talking, try and know how to interrupt. Okay? When mommy and daddy are in the bedroom, knock before you enter. Set those boundaries right from the scratch. I have a 5-year-old. Anytime he wants to come to the bedroom, and especially when he knows I'm in there, Mommy, please, can I come in? Is it a good time to talk? He doesn't just open the door and then enter. Come in. He doesn't just, barge into a conversation when you are having that conversation with an elderly person. So I think emphasizing on those boundaries right from the scratch is the way to go.
Okay. A question coming in quickly is... at what point should parents consider seeking help from parenting coaches or child therapists? From Aggie and Adenta.
So, you know what? Sometimes you can actually come from a home where your parents were not good parents after all. It may be those, you can come from that permissive type of parenting, but you realize all those shortfalls that came out of that type of parenting. So you wouldn't want to, give that to your
child.
Or child as well. So I think you can look at a particular type of parent, maybe in your neighborhood. It could be in a church. You can see how good these children are, especially how they talk, how they interact with the other people and all that, and seek advice from them. And then the internet is also there. And stop copying blindly. Now we have parents copying that of the diaspora, like those in the diaspora, how the children are always on their phones, they are always on their laptop and tablets and all that. All these things are bad ways of copying parenting. So look at a very good particular person in your community and then learn some few cues from that.
Okay, all right. Coming through with this one for Stina. Wait, hold on, let me find the question. Can my own upbringing affect my parenting, and how can I avoid repeating negative patterns?
Wow. So let me just give you one personal experience. So my shout outs to my mom. My dad is late though, but my dad was very strict. My dad wouldn't give you room to telling him what you think about certain things, but my mom was the authoritative type. And I looked at some of the struggles that I went through with my dad, even though my dad was,
an amazing father.
Was an amazing father. I took cues from him and that of my mom, added to that, and then make sure that I gave it out to my children. However, even though you may have taken or experienced different type of parenting from your parent, the spouse that you are with can also play a very key role.
In fact, that brings me to my next question.
So you can have a spouse coming, and usually those authoritative type of parent, like one side of parenting, they are usually married to permissive type of parenting style. So you have a partner who is, you know what, you want ice cream? Okay, let's go and get it. You want tablet? Okay, I'll give you next month, that kind of thing. And then making you feel so bad at a time. So I think good communication also matters. So you be like, you want ice cream, you know what, maybe maybe every Friday of the month we can do that. And make sure that you are at par with that decision with your spouse as well, so that you can give the right parenting style to your child.
Okay, now bringing me to that question, Ellen says, AJ, thank you very much for this amazing conversation. I'm learning quite a lot. I didn't realize what it was called, but now I think my partner does permissive parenting style. He's always gifting the kids, never really trying to chastise them, and I end up having to be the bad cop all the time in our relationship. The kids rather go to him because he's the fun parent and I'm the one always struggling. What do I do?
I think you should create a balance. The fact that you are so firm or strict doesn't mean that you don't bend the rules sometimes. So, for instance, you set the rules, you tell your partner, I think we need to do this. When you do that, you give the children enough room for them to sleep. It will help them cope very well when they go to school the next day. What do you think about it? And the partner will be, I think it's a very good idea. Let's make sure that by maybe 30 minutes before bedtime, we switch off the lights, we make sure their tablets are seized or something. So you need to have that conversation with that. And sometimes don't be too strict, because you may think that you are authoritative, but in the other hand, you may be authoritarian. So you don't want to give any room for anything. So you are not. Sometimes you feel like, okay, I need to do this. I need them to do that. But if they don't do this, I will do that. And at the end of the day, if you don't take care, you'll be a bad parent. So try and blend, be flexible. Get it? Be flexible with it as well.
Okay. Frank says, hi, AJ, and hello, Doc. How can I improve communication with my child at different ages?
So children, when they are usually around 0 to 6 years, they really listen a lot. and they see everything that you do. So communication is not about verbal thing, it's about sometimes your actions as well. So they see how you are able to navigate yourself through stress. You come back from work, you're always nagging, whining, you let down easily whenever something goes wrong and all that. So they look at that. So during that age group, they really learn from you. From 6 years to 12 years or 14 years, you just allow them to go ahead with whatever that they've seen during that preparatory phase. So when they do something, you tell them, you know what, it's not good to do that. Lace your shoe. When you wake up from bed, you need to pray. When you pray, God listens to your prayers. It's good to lay your bed, because when you come back from school, you'll be so tired. You need to lay your bed. You need to wash your dishes after eating. All these things are usually very good or done very well during the second stage of life. And then when they are around the teens, you need to really blend your authoritativeness and then your that you need to give that fair balance, because if you don't take care, when you are too permissive enough, they will bring you a very bad thing. So like they want to go out and have fun with their friends. If you don't take care, they will sleep overnight. You tell them that you give them phones, and the next minute, by the time you realize, they are on social media doing all kinds of things. So at every point in time, know what works best for your child.
Okay. Quite a number of messages coming in. Simon says, is there any reason why the dads are attached to the daughters and the sons attached to the mothers?
I don't really know.
It's just a thing with the kids, yeah?
It's just a thing with the kids, yeah.
Okay. Mary says, my child is getting older. Should I involve myself in my kids' decisions as they grow older?
Yes, you have a role in their decision making, but don't enforce it. Well, I'm not an expert though, but as old as I am, sometimes whenever I want to embark on certain things, I go back to my mom and I tell her, Mommy, I want to really, for instance, let me just cite an example. I want to buy a car, and my mom would be like, do you have the resources for that? She won't go like, okay, you know what, I have this 30,000 CDs in my account, I'm buying you a car because you're my daughter, and all those things. So try as much as possible to have a very good, solid relationship with them, and make sure that you give them, don't enforce certain advice to them. When they tell you what their plans would be, ask them, so what do you want to do? I think let's do it this way, or what do you think? Try and have that fair game with them.
Okay. Priscilla says, AJ, my problem is my little one, and I think they're terrible twos. I don't know how to handle the tantrums, defiance, and their behavior. How do I do it in a constructive way?
Terrible twos, you see. So they actually go up to terrible fives.
Hey.
So for them, I think it's a way of them exploring the world. So just let them be. But make sure that you introduce some few measures as they go on. So for instance, you have a child who is always crying. You can go like, oh, you're always crying. You're always doing this. You're always doing that. And I think you can just blend it during that period. And I also believe in positive speeches.
Yeah.
So you won't go like, you are really naughty. You are really this. You are really... Those words go a long way in affecting them. So I think as parents, we need to really watch out with the things we say to them, especially during those primary ages.
And finally, how do I balance being nurturing without overprotecting my child?
It's really difficult. You know, sometimes... I think sometimes, for instance, let me just cite an example. So I realized my kids were coming late from school. So I was discussing it with my spouse, and I was like, oh, I think I can give maybe money to my oldest boy so that during the time that they are waiting for their driver, he can actually buy something. And I said, However, I also don't want to really introduce.
They'll eat a lot of sweets.
Yeah, sweets and all that. So what do you think? So he suggested, how about you giving them a lot of snacks, healthy snacks or fruits, so that you tell them, okay, whilst waiting for your driver, that's what you are going to do. That is another way of nurturing them and not going overboard.
I love it. I love it. Well, this is some of the conversations we're going to be having on the ground. And I'll come to you, final words, Doc, on how parenting, we can generally do better in ensuring that our kids grow up as healthy, happy children.
Come again with it.
I wanted to hear your final words before we wrap up the conversation on how parents can do better to grow healthy and happy children.
Okay, so I think you just have to pat your back whenever you do something good.
Yeah.
Look at the outcome, and then make sure that you do the best the next time around, and make sure you don't always feel like you are not really doing much better. Always seek advice from the expert as well. It could be an older parent. It could be even your friend who is really doing very good in bringing up their children. So you can actually seek advice anytime, anywhere.
I love it. I love it. And that's how we bring this first conversation to an end. I had an amazing conversation on parenting styles and truly learned so much, because I didn't even realize that there were even different kinds of parenting styles. Talk less, ones that are so close with each other, and you can even, if you're not very conscious, can blend into the others. We spoke about the styles of parenting, building resilience, the role. No, I have to ask you this. How much should we allow our kids to play? And is that helpful in child development?
So play is really important. I mean, when I really play.
Yeah, that one is true.
So play is really important. It helps them build. It helps them build physically, emotionally. It helps them know what to do, how to, confined to certain environments and all that. So play is very good. Don't try and overschedule them. Give them room to play, because it really has a very good benefit.
Yeah, because we see these days, you leave school now, you have to go into lessons, you have to go into this now, ballet, nade. There's no time to play. Oh, Charlie. We are becoming too much of an overachiever parents. So remember, you have to give your kids time to play. And play they shall this weekend. The 3FM Baby Fair has an amazing play area. The bouncy castles, the carts, all of those exciting things are all coming out, and the kids can play and as well have a great time, while the parents also have amazing conversations such as this on the grounds. A big thank you to you, Dr. Maame Araba Acquaah, for coming on board and being a part of this conversation. We look forward to having you on the grounds this weekend, and as well contributing and adding up to more conversations as this on the grounds. I think the parents will definitely be excited about that.
Thank you so much, AJ, for this great platform. I would want to say thank you so much for I want to say thank you to my kids, my amazing children, for being great teachers and helping me navigate myself through parenthood. And I also want to say a very big thank you to the Pediatric Society of Ghana, which I'm a proud member of, and also to the president, Dr. Ernestina Shando, for giving me this opportunity.
Amazing. And that's what we love. Our partnership is truly one of the most special ones, and we look forward to always partnering with the Pediatric Society of Ghana every single year. Thank you so much, Doc. And yes, catch the Pediatric Society of Ghana's corner, where the doctors will be on ground. All the medical staff members will be passing through, having conversations on the ground, and most importantly, helping other parents also navigate mother and fatherhood. Now we're going to get into a fun conversation with one of our vendors, Replica Photography. But before that, getting back into bringing this song back, Adina, Daddy's Little Girls.